Welcome to the daily English news program on Azərbaycan Television with the most important events of the day. I'm your host, İlham. According to the press service of the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, on June 28th, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, İlham, made a phone call to Prime Minister of Georgia, Irakli Garibashvili. The head of our state congratulated Irakli Garibashvili on his birthday, wished him good health and successes in his endeavors. Irakli Garibashvili thanks the President of Azerbaijan for the attention and congratulations. President İlham and Prime Minister Irakli Garibashvili stressed the successful development of friendly and fraternal relations between Azerbaijan and Georgia in various fields, and expressed confidence that relations would continue to strengthen. During the conversation, issues related to various aspects of bilateral relations were discussed. The Second Karabakh War has internally went down in golden letters as glorious history, glorious victory in the history of Azerbaijan. From now on, Azerbaijan will live on as a victorious country and Armenia as a defeated state. At the event dedicated to the Armed Forces Day, Supreme Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President İlham stated that today the only path for Armenia's development is the establishment of normal relations with neighbors and the abandonment of territorial claims, the non-use of the word Nagorno-Karabakh in general. The current behavior of the Armenian government, which fell to its knees in front of the Azerbaijan army last November, is really surprising. Not accepting the signing of a peace agreement, not eliminating separatist and illegal formations in Karabakh, on the contrary, regularly summoning Aray Karatunyan to Yerevan, trying to interfere with the project of the Zangezur corridor, the Pashinyan government, acting as if it has an army, clings to the framework of the previous status quo, trying to delay the process of border delimitation. With all available resources involving the international community, Armenia intends to return the topic of the status to the agenda again, hindering the opening of regional communications and to involve the mediating mission of the OSCE Minsk group. However, these ideas are already archaic in nature. As President İlham emphasized at the event dedicated to the Day of the Armed Forces, Armenia must come to terms with the existing realities, forget the expression Nagorno-Karabakh, and ask permission from its neighbors to join regional cooperation. The Karabakh issue was the first issue on my agenda every day as president, every single day. Every day I thought what else should be done to achieve this victory and to liberate our lands. We demonstrated it. It is now up to Armenia. What will be its behavior and approach to regional issues? In any case, we were able to achieve what we wanted in the region without Armenia. We have built all communications, power lines, railways and transport projects with our other neighbors. If Armenia wants to join this process, it still needs to ask its neighbors, said President İlham. Political scientist also considers a practical resolution of the revanchist mindset impossible. Thus, political, diplomatic and economic powers of Azerbaijan are the main factors that ensured success in the last few years. For instance, unlike Armenia, that is suffocating in its economic crisis, Azerbaijan accounts for the 80% of the region's economy. The external debt of our country does not even amount to 20% of gross domestic product, and our foreign exchange reserves exceed our external debt by 6 times. Although today in developed countries, external debt is much higher than their GDP. As a result, the growing economic power of Azerbaijan and its transformation into a center of geo-economic cooperation reduced to zero the number of those who share the absurd ideas that are a figment of the imagination of the Armenians. Another important factor, patriotic feelings are incomparably different. The Armenian state, which had more than 10,000 deserters in the 44-day war, is poisoning the minds of the younger generation with Azerbaijanophobia and sowing hatred towards our people, laying the foundation for a new shame. In Azerbaijan, a whole generation of patriots who do not forget the past and declare their readiness to fight in the name of defending the motherland in the future has formed. They should know that we have not forgotten anything. We cannot forget our martyrs. We cannot forget the victims of Khojaly. We cannot forget our destroyed cities. How can we forget the destroyed graves and desecrated mosques? We must never forget that. The Azerbaijani people must always keep this in mind. The Armenian leadership, Armenian political, public and religious figures have built their ideology and policy on baseless claims. After the Second Karabakh War, they have been directing this hostility against each other within the country. Look at the ugly processes going on in Armenia's information space. They're insulting and threatening each other so badly. Why? Because over the centuries they have raised the younger generation in a spirit of enmity. They sowed the seed of enmity and hatred, and this led to their failure. Therefore, we will not forget anything, said President İlham. International observers drawing attention to the new realities in the region formed today immediately understand that in the geopolitical sense, Azerbaijan absolutely does not need Armenia either as a neighbor or as a partner country, because the former aggressor is not one of the attractive countries in terms of economic and trade resources. The world community in prospect sees Azerbaijan as the main partner in the implementation of the envisaged link of communications and energy lines, railways in the South Caucasus. Nikol Pashinyan, who will again form the government in Armenia, which for 30 years has not managed to become an independent state, must understand that without the consent of official Baku, will not be able to participate in any strategic projects. In short, as the Supreme Commander-in-Chief, President İlham Aliyev, who spoke at the ceremony on the occasion of the 103rd anniversary of the armed forces, a strong Azerbaijani state and a powerful army avenged the marchers of Karabakh, and the return of Armenia, which has fallen into revanchism to military rhetoric, may lead to the end of the non-existing statehood. On June 27th, at about 8:40 p.m., in the positions located near Kolagir village of the Berd region, units of the Armenian armed forces, using small arms, subjected to fire positions of the Azerbaijan army in the direction of Garalar village of Tovuz district. According to the Ministry of Defense, there are no losses of wounded among the military personnel of the Azerbaijan army. Currently, the situation in this direction is stable. Our units control the operational situation. According to the agreement on military cooperation between the Republic of Azerbaijan and the Republic of Turkey, the Mustafa Kemal Atatürk 2021 joint live-fire tactical exercises have started in Baku on June 28th. The main objective of the exercises, held with the participation of Azerbaijani and Turkish servicemen, is to improve interoperability between the units of the armies of the two countries during combat operations, to develop the military decision-making skills of the commanders, as well as their ability to control military units. The exercises that will last until June 30th involve up to 600 military personnel, up to 40 tanks and other unarmed vehicles, up to 20 artillery pieces and mortars of various caliber, 7 combat and transport helicopters, 3 unmanned area vehicles for various purposes, as well as up to 50 auto vehicles. Azerbaijan Ministry of Defense released video footage from Şeylanlı village of Lachin district. Azerbaijani Ministry of Defense also released video footage from the Zengilan village of Zengilan district. Four Azerbaijani veterans who were severely injured and sent to Turkey by the Yaşat Fund for treatment have recovered and returned home. The treatment of our veterans has successfully completed. The foundation also provided medicine for their treatment in the coming months. The relevant examination, treatment and rehabilitation process of 56 more Azerbaijani veterans is underway in Turkey. On June 27th, the semi-final stage of the Yükseliş competition has started at the Baku Expo Center. During the speech, it was emphasized that the Yükseliş competition is significant for our country in terms of identifying a new generation of promising leaders with high intellectual level and management skills, directing their potential to the required spheres, as well as assessment and support of professional staff. The semi-final, which will last 2 days, involves candidates who have successfully passed the previous stages of the competition. At this stage, experts assess skills such as strategic thinking, performance management, concentration on results, teamwork, communication, budgeting, social responsibility, and application of innovative approaches. It should be noted that the Yükseliş competition was established by a decree sent by President İlham on July 26, 2019, to establish a human resource reserve in the country. 38 infections with the novel coronavirus were registered in Azerbaijan. 39 people recovered after treatment and were released home. 2 people who earlier tested positive for COVID-19 died. The overall confirmed cases in Azerbaijan have reached 335,874, with 330,123 recoveries and 4,970 deaths. The number of active infections is 781. To detect new infection cases over the past day, 4,482 tests and overall 3,733,194 tests have been conducted in Azerbaijan, the task force under the Cabinet of Ministers reported. That was all for the day. Thank you for being with us and see you next time.